Hello guys, welcome back to my channel again, Sogilanon, the unveiling story and sparking joy. Well, today guys, mga kasugilanon, of course, literally sa Bisaya term story. So meron po tayong story to be done in the context of my niche, one of my niche which is science category, specifically in the field of chemistry. Well, as I said, if you have seen in my presentation, that's the title. Yes, can you read it for me? Yes, that is atomic theory. Welcome to a journey through the fascinating world of atoms, the fundamental building blocks of matter, from the ancient Greek philosophers to modern day scientists. The concept of atoms has evolved through centuries of explorations and discovery. By the way, this is your presenter, Raphael P. Inson. The headlight actually or is the atomic theory of matter. But of course, before we proceed with our topic, I have here a topic outline prepared intended for you so that you will be guided. Of course, we will be doing introduction to the concept of atoms and foundations of atomic theory. Well, under the foundation of atomic theory is number one, the name, which is Leucippus, as a pioneer of atomism. Have you heard the word Leucippus? Well, you will know who is Leucippus later. And of course, Democritus pioneered the concept of atom as the building block of matter. Is there any relationship, relevance between the two person, um, between Leucippus and Democritus? Well, let's try to find out. And of course, excuse me, John Dalton and the development of modern atomic theory. Wow. So I think we are moving now in the modern world. And number four, J. Thomson, or also known as Joseph John Thomson, and the discovery of the electron, which means, is he really the one who discovered electron? Well, let's try to find out. And number five, Robert Andrew Millikan, Andrews, are also known as R.A. Millikan. So what's the contribution of Robert Millikan to the atomic theory? Well, for number six, let's continue. In the name of Ernest Rutherford and the nuclear model of the atom. So, what's really the contribution of Ernest Rutherford? Nuclear model, of course, which means maybe he used the atomic model or what we call this one. And number seven is James Chadwick and the discovery of the neutron. Wow. Is he really the one? Number eight, Niels Bohr and the quantum model of the atom. And number nine, of course, rather, is Erwin Schrödinger, the kono siya pag-pronounce. And number 10, modern advances in atomic theory. And number 11, conclusion. What is your conclusion? Implication about the atomic theory. Well, those outline will be discussed in this PowerPoint presentations. I think we have more or less 30 or 40 plus slides. That's a very short, a little topic only. Don't worry, you will not be get boring. So shall we start? From the atoms are the smallest units of matter that retain the properties of an element. So what's really the atom? The concept of atoms? Yes, atoms just like that. Smallest units of matter that retain the properties of an element, meaning they consist of a nucleus containing protons and neutrons surrounded by electrons orbiting in energy level. Yes, that's an atom. Mm, Actually, that was begun in the ancient Greeks who proposed the idea of indivisible particles as the basic constituents of matter. Actually, the behavior of these tiny particles governs the property and interactions of all substances in the universe. And the journey of this atomic theory, actually, as I mentioned, it was began in the ancient Greeks, no, long time ago. But over the time, scientists like John Dalton, G.J. Thomson, and Ernest Rutherford, and also Niels Bohr, and others made groundbreaking contribution that shape our understanding of the atom structure and behavior. So meaning to say, thanks to this person, no, so it made our life horrible. No, not that like that. It makes our life comfortable because of their contribution and the groundbreaking contribution about the atoms. Without them, maybe we are not really this kind of progressive, you know, country. Well, join me as we delve into the history of atomic theory, exploring the key discoveries and, of course, theories that have revolutionized our perceptions of the microscopic world. Well, from Dalton's atomic theory to Schrödinger, quantum mechanics, and of course, each of these milestones have paved the way for advancements in chemistry, physics, and also other fields and beyond. Well, um, let's embark, no, on a voyage of discovery, unraveling the mysteries of atoms and uncovering the remarkable journey that has led to us to our current understanding of the fundamental units of matter. Well, thanks to that introduction, let's begin with the foundation of atomic theory. So, from the first one, Leucippus as a pioneer of atomism. So, really? But do you know who is Leucippus? Well, we'll try to find out who is that person. Who is Leucippus? Well, according to my research, Leucippus was an ancient Greek philosopher who lived around the 5th century BCE and is often considered the founder of atomism along with his student Democritus. Wow! Based from the statement, it's really clear that Leucippus is a teacher, instructor with his pupil student, famous, intelligent, and which is named it Democritus. According to history, actually Democritus is a very smart guy and intelligent person, no? So that's their relationship between Leucippus and Democritus. By the way, take a look with this picture of Leucippus, no? He's already an old guy during these pictorials, and it looks like yes, really during this ancient time, no? Well, of course, from the contribution of Leucippus, what is the contribution of Leucippus to atomic theory? That's another question aside from knowing himself. Well, si Leucippus lang man ang nag-originate the theory of atomism. So it's because of him we have this kind of subject, no? Sa kanya galing ang atomism, or he coined the term atomism. He introduced the term atom. Atom from the Greek word atomos meaning indivisible. Yes, yun lang naman ang contribution ni Leucippus sa in the atomic theory. And of course, Leucippus' ideas on atomism were further developed and popularized by his student Democritus, who expanded on the concept of atoms and their properties. According to history, due to the number of years, or maybe Leucippus is really old enough, he cannot able to make it to proceed with his discovery. That's why he was able to turn over this research into his pupils, term pupil or student, brilliant student, gifted student, which named Democritus. Until such time, Democritus actually, no, expanded the idea of atom together with Lysippus and Democritus, laid the groundwork for the atomic theory that influenced the later philosophers and, of course, scientists. So, because of them, so the popularity of Lysippus today, and or no, not really. Lysippus was not able to really popular, unlike with Democritus, because Lysippus was able to retire, no, because of his old age. But in the other hand, Lysippus' pioneering work in proposing the concept of atoms as the fundamental constituent of matter set the stage for the further development of atomic theory by Democritus and subsequent philosophers. So, unang-una, si Lysippus talaga ang nag-set ng stage to the theory or to the latest theory about atoms. Siguro kung hindi dahil kay Lysippus, hindi rin magkakaroon ng mga idea yung mga scientists ngayon because nagbase sila sa mga tao before. The ideas of Lysippus on atomisms lay the foundation of the modern scientific understanding of the microscopic world. So meaning to say, because of that, kaya natatamasa natin ngayon ang comfortability and the modern world and because of Lysippus. By the way, before we proceed with the next person, Democritus, this is the timeline, no? History of the atom timeline. So actually, the mention here is Democritus in 460 BC and Dalton in 1803 AD. So actually, Lysippus was not really being recognized, no, for his contribution because, as I said earlier, he was not able to popularize himself, unlike with the Democritus, which he really exerted an effort double time as what Lysippus did. So from the timeline, after Lysippus, Democritus, and then Democritus, we have John Dalton, and John Dalton, we have Thomson in the year 1897. As you can see, the pictures, no, sa ubos, we have the red mark in the circular sphere, and that's really a vague pictures. Wala pa klaro of about the atom, no. They don't have really idea what is an atom actually. And of course, Rutherford, 1912, Bohr, 1913, and the modern quantum cloud model posted in 1930 by Erwin Schrödinger. Schrödinger. Yes, that's it. The second person is Democritus until 460 BC. Democritus actually is an ancient Greek philosopher and was born in the 460 BC, and of course, sad to say, he was died in 370. Subject of study of Democritus is a central figure in the development of philosophical atomisms and the atomic theory of the universe. So yun talaga ang kanyang subject of studies. So yes, he is a Greek philosopher in the 5th century who began the search for the description of matter more than 2,400 years ago. Imagine 2,400 years ago starting from this year. So we are already in 2,224. But before this year, just like with the year 2,400 years. And Democritus expressed the belief that all matter is composed of very small indivisible particle which he named atomos, meaning uncuttable or indivisible. Sorry, so that's the meaning of atomos, indivisible or uncuttable. So again, from this statement, di ba, we have three states of matter: the solid, liquid, and gas primarily, and that three states of matter composed of each very indivisible particles na made up of atoms, and we don't know what types of atoms present in that. Maybe it's situational depending on its state of matter. So Democritus also said that if a sample of a pure element was divided into smaller and smaller parts, eventually a point would be reached at which no further cutting would be possible. So this was the atom of that element. Actually, to interpret the statement, sabi ni Lysippus, pag ang isang bagay pag i-divide mo yan ng i-divide, pwede pa siya until to the point na hindi mo na siya kayang i-divide. Yun si atom, meaning uncuttable or indivisible. Hindi kaya siya mag-divide kasi nga the atom is very smallest to the smallest part na hindi kayang i-divide. Yun ang statement niya. And of course, Democritus said, atoms were infinite in number, no? Always moving and capable of joining together. So infinite, walang hangganan, it cannot end. Always moving and capable of joining. So, it could be reacted from this atom to another atom, and also it could join to another or to the rest. So that's the contribution of atomic. Well, student, let me summarize for a little bit again. Ang contribution lang man ni Leucippus is he was originated the term atom. Sa kanya galing ang word na atom. And Leucippus is a teacher of Democritus. Democritus, of course, expanded the work of his teacher nga si Leucippus kasi nga he was died because of an old age, hindi niya kaya. So pinagpatuloy ni Democritus yung study or research. And sabi ni Democritus sa kanyang research na atom is indivisible or uncuttable, hindi kayang i-subdivide into smaller part. Hindi siya kaya kasi nga ang liit niya. So napakaliit ng atom. Yun yung emphasis nilang dalawa. Well, the idea of atom from Leucippus and Democritus, here comes again John Dalton. Who is really John Dalton? Let me show you the picture of John Dalton. He was born on September 5 or 6. He wasn't sure about his birthday. But of course, in the year 1766, he in the Eagle Field, Cumberland, England. So, meron tayong scientist from the Greece na today si John Dalton is from England. Sad to say, he was able to die or he died on July 27, 1844 at Manchester. Ano lang naman ang contribution ni John Dalton? He is a founder of British Science Association. Well, iyang pinaka-remarkable work, iyang nagawa ni John Dalton was he is an English meteorologist, and of course, take note, quote unquote, he is a chemist and a pioneer in the development of the modern atomic theory. Well, when I say modern, it's because ito na yung kinagisna natin, baga yun yung bago. So during the time kasi of Leucippus and Democritus, that was very classical, old. During the time, it was slept for 2,400 years ago bago na-discover again yung about atom na pinagpapatuloy ni John Dalton. So, nag-sleep over si idea of atom in 2,400 years, no? So thanks to John Dalton, he was being curious about the idea of Democritus. That's why John Dalton meticulously followed the study of Democritus, no? Ang subject of study ni John Dalton is ang talagang famous is John Dalton's law of atmosphere, chemical symbols, color blindness, rain, no? So, and of course, occupation ni John Dalton, English scientist and a school teacher. And of course, si John Dalton formulated his atomic theory. So merong nagawang contribution si John Dalton sa modern atomic theory. Actually, there are 4 na nagawa niya. So let's begin with the first one. Ano yung na-formulate niya? Ang basis ng formulation ng atomic theory ni John Dalton is from Democritus' work, no? Iyang research. First formulation of John Dalton, first formulate atomic theory niya. Sabi ni John Dalton, elements are composed of extremely small, indivisible particles called atoms. Yes, you are right. Sabi niya yan. Dahil ang basis niya is Democritus. Ang elements daw, alam naman natin, alam niyo guys ha, kung ano yung mga elements, meron yan, hiningan ko kayo ng mga examples niyan at nagkapagbigay naman kayo. And pinag-provide ko kayo ng periodic table. All of those are elements. So meron daw ang those elements is meron ng inside in it is very extremely small particles atom. So meaning to say all atoms of the same elements are identical in size, mass, and chemical properties. What does it really mean? So for example, take a look with this one, copper, no, elements of copper, elements of carbon, and elements of helium. So copper is an element made up of copper atoms only. Well, shall we say, how many sphere in this atom? Ilang bilog na nandito sa loob ng isang circle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Each of that is identical. So meaning to say, magkakambal ng kambal ng mga ganyan. So identical, pareho-pareho lang ang mga size nila, mass nila, at saka chemical property sa copper atom sa lahat ng mga orange color. And of course, in carbon is an element made of carbon atoms only. So, identical din yung ilan ba yung nasa loob ng isang circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, lahat ng nasa loob niyan is identical yung size, mass, and chemical properties. Meaning to say, parehas lang. And helium is an element made of helium atoms only. So, ganyan. So, identical. So, that's the first formulation of John Dalton. Ang elements sa loob, mayroong atom sa element. So, but of course, ang atoms na nasa elements are mga identical, parehas lang sila. But what is his second formulation? Atoms of one element are different from the atoms of all other elements. What does it really mean? So, meron tayong hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. So, meaning to say, ibig sabihin ng letter B, yung atoms na nasa loob ng hydrogen is magkaiba yan sa mga atoms na nasa helium, sa lithium, sa beryllium. So, they are not the same kapag ikumpara mo sila sa mga karatig or to the other different element, no? So, yun yung first formula, second formulation. Again, ang first formulation, ang isang element, ang mga atom ang nandoon ay is identical, pero ang atom sa isang element, i-compare mo sa atoms ng other elements, they are different, okay? Number 3, compounds. Yes, you are already know what is compound, right? That's combination of two different elements, no? It's a combination of two different elements. Say, for example, sodium combined with chlorine. So that's a compound, two elements combined together differently. Kasi nga, sabi ko different kasi sodium ang isa chlorine. So compounds are composed of atoms of more than one element, just like that. The ratio of the number of atoms of any two or more elements present in a compound is a small whole number ratio. So meaning to say, ang whole number yan, for example, i-combine mo si hydrogen, dalawang hydrogen at saka ang oxygen. So meaning to say that's the compound formula of water H2O. So ratio sila 2:1, ganyan. So for example, in a web example drawing color hydrogen yellow, hydrogen, dalawang hydrogen, that is actually molecular element din ha. Yung i-combine mo isang hydrogen and the other hydrogen na the same lang sila, that's not a compound but element, molecular element. Oxygen is a molecular element, hydrogen, nitrogen, and chlorine is a molecular element. But if you have here below NO, nitrogen oxide, nitrogen is different from oxygen, so that's belong to the compound, no? So, ano yung ratio niya? So, meron yung mga subscript na noted. So, of course, understood na meron yung 1 pag walang nakalagay na 2, 1, 2, etc. So, NO, isa sa N, isa po sa oxygen. And the water, so, ang ratio niya is 2:1. Dalawang hydrogen and isang oxygen. So, ang ratio dapat is whole number ratio, no? Dili pwedeng mga fraction or what. And nitrogen dioxide, it's a compound, no? Isang nitrogen and dalawang oxygen. And of course, carbon dioxide, dalawang carbon, isang carbon at dalawang oxygen. So that's the formulation of John Dalton. And I think the last formulation, fourth na formulation in John Dalton is a chemical reaction involves only separation. Oh, take note ha. Pag magre-react yung isang element to the other element, ito lang yung pwede niyang malagyan. Either could be separated, combination, or rearrangement of atoms. It does not result in their creation or destruction. So meaning to say, nagre-react yung dalawang compounds or any other form, elements to compounds, It can only be happening through separation, combination, and rearrangement. It will not create a newly formed compound, no, or destroy na mawawala na sila. Actually, it does follow the law of conservation of mass. Yes, that's the formulation of John Dalton. There are four. Say for example, hydrogen and oxygen, no, to form 2 mole of water. So this is combination reaction, no. Hydrogen combined with oxygen to form one single product. Actually, there are many main type of chemical reaction, which we will be tackled that later in the next topic. So A plus B, isang reactant at another reactant. If combine mo yan, that's a synthesis, no, to form one product. Kung imo namang siya i-decompose, you have to cut off, no? Cut mo siya. Pwede ring replacement, single replacement, and double replacement. Old bands break, for example, hydrogen, dalawang hydrogen, i-break mo yan dyan, silang dalawa, kasi nga it will form or connect to the other chlorine molecules. So that's rearrangement, no, or separation, kay breaking man siya. So those are the contribution of John Dalton. There are four. Yes, to summarize, first theory of John Dalton, elements are composed of extremely small, indivisible particles called atoms. All atoms of the same elements are identical in size, mass, and chemical reaction. And letter B, elements are composed of extremely small, indivisible particles called atoms. All atoms of the same element are identical in size, mass, and chemical properties. Hoy, nagdoble. Sorry. Ang sa letter B, atoms of one element dif- is different from the atoms of all other element, no? Yun yung letter B. So, ibig sabihin sa letter B, pag halimbawa meron kang atoms na nasa hydrogen, magkaiba yan sa atoms na nasa loob ng oxygen. Yun yung sa letter B. Sorry for that mistake. Letter C, compounds are composed of atoms or more than one element. Yes, really. The ratio of the number of atoms in any two or more element present in a compound in a small whole number ratio. Yes, that's mentioned. And last but not the least, a chemical reaction involves only separation, combination, or rearrangement of atoms. It does not result in their creation or destruction. So that's the combination. Actually, John Dalton, the theory of John Dalton became one of the foundations of modern chemistry. And the last statement of John Dalton was actually, he said, if an element, there is an atom in it, there's something wrong inside the atom, which is even more smaller than I imagine, no? Yun yung last statement ni John Dalton upon his discovery. Yes, meron na nga, atom nga eh. Pero sa isang atom, meron pala another subatomic particles sa loob ng atom. Yun yung na-mention ni John Dalton, but he wasn't able to make it or discover what is it. Because as I said, he wasn't, time flies, no? He cannot able to make it because of his age again. And, but of course, he made a statement to make others curious about that one. So, meron nagka-interest sa sinabi ni John Dalton. Sabi niya, sa atom, meron pa palang mga mas maliliit na bagay sa loob ng atom. Maliit na nga yung atom, pero meron pa maliliit. Pero ay, hindi ko alam kung ano yung mga yon. Kaya nga, hindi niya alam kung anong mga yon. Nagka-interest si Joseph John Thomson. So, si Joseph John Thomson, upon reading of the scriptures of, or the write-ups of, yes, John Dalton, sabi niya, ano kaya sinasabi, ibig sabihin ni John Dalton na sa atom meron pa palang mga subatomic parts o mas maliliit pa. Kaya nga, because of his curiosity, si Joseph John Thomson make a discovery and experiment. Actually born, let us know first who is Joseph John Thomson or J.J. Thomson. Born in December 18 in 1856 in Chatham Hill near Manchester, England. Of English na gyapon siya, no? And he died on August 13 in the year 1940 at Cambridgeshire. So, who is Joseph John Thomson? English physicist who helped revolutionize the knowledge of atomic structure by his discovery of the electron in 1897. This is the groundbreaking of Joseph John Thomson, kasi nga nagkaroon siya ng idea sa sinabi ni John Dalton na meron parang maliit na bagay sa loob ng atom. Kaya nagka-interest si Joseph John Thomson, sabi niya, ano kaya yun? So, until such time, it's not as simple as that na nakadiscover siya ng electron. He received a Nobel Prize for Physics in 1906 and was knighted in 1908. So, di ba, imagine, in 1897, after 97, so, 9 years, no? Naka-award siya ng Nobel Prize. Napakasarap na mga award. And si Joseph John Thomson actually, yes, provide the first hint that atom is made up of even smaller particles. Discovered the electron, as simple as that. The first subatomic particle from his experiment using a cathode ray tube. So, hindi siya nakadiscover ng simple gumagawa-gawa lang. So, meron siyang basis. Ano yung basis niya? Cathode ray tube. And upon his experiment using cathode ray tubes, he made a model, because we are all know that we cannot see atom because of its minute quantity, because of its very smallest to the smallest part. Hindi natin kaya tingnan yan or makikita using our naked eye, or even the most powerful microscope. No, hindi niya kaya tingnan doon si atoms or si electron. So, just, yes, he made a model and he called it Thomson's plum pudding model. Muna ang ginagamit ni Joseph John Thomson to represent what's really inside an atom. So, sabi niya, atoms were made from positively charged substance with negatively charged electrons scattered about like raisins in a pudding. Kung alam mo yung raisins or cupcake, di ba si cupcake yung yellow or flour, yes, at saka mayroon niyang raisins na nakalagay sa gitna. So, ganyan yung model ni Joseph John Thomson para to explain about atoms and electrons that he was able to discover. So, what is it? Ano yung model na yun? Sabi niya, atoms are made from a positively charged substance with negatively charged electrons scattered around about, like raisins in a pudding. Sabi niya, ang atoms daw is made of positively charged and negatively charged electrons scattered around. So, kung pudding, si flour mismo is siya yung nagrepresent ng negatively charged, no? Si flour kay spread scattered all over man sa cupcake, ano yung cupcake, so merong flour, so that represents an electron, and raisins na nilagay mo sa gitna, that would represent positively charged, no? Yun yung sabi ni Joseph John Thomson, like a plum pudding model. So, yun yung atom, sabi niya. Siya talaga nag made an initial step about what is really inside an atom. So, kasi nga, sinabi niya na ang atom may positive at negatively charged. Yes, ginalingan niya agad. And he discovered, really, actually, the electron, no? Yung, just like a plum pudding model. Thomson plum pudding model, electrons are scattered through the positively charged body. Baliktad ba yung sinabi ko? Raisin is an electron. The yellow color is the positively charged body. Yun yung sabi niya. But other person would really agree or disagree about this statement. Pero wala tayong magagawa kasi siya ang unang nag-discover niyan. Wala pang mga proposing factor, wala pang mga opposition, wala talaga. Walang nag-o-oppose na sa model niya. Kaya, yun, raisin, imagine mo yan, yung raisin na sa gitna, yun yung electron, and then the yellow color is the flower. So, at least, ito yung discovery niya. But actually, si Joseph John Thomson doesn't care about the location of the proton or the positively charged. Ang binigyan lang niya ng pansin is ang electron. Nakadiscover na kung electron, tama na ni. Musikat na kung ano eh. So, sa atom na ay electrons. So, sa electrons, so, nakabutang siya din na, or nakalagay siya. Diha. Pero sabi niya, kung mayroong electron, meron ding mga positively charged. Sabi niya, yun, hindi niya ginawang mag-continue ng study. Binigay niya yan sa ibang scientist kung paano nila gawin yun. Basta kaya sinabi rin niya ulit. Sabi niya, kung nakadiscover ako ng electron which is negatively charged, of course, meron itong kapartner. Anong kapartner ng negative? So, positive. Okay, that's your hint. Ikaw na gumawa niyan, hindi ko na kayang gawin yan. So, those person interests about also his statement because those persons like Joseph John Thompson is a reliable person, no? Mapagkakatiwalaan kung anong sasabihin, maniniwala ka talaga because of his achievement and of course his status, no? Hindi siya ordinary person, scientist pa kumbaga. So actually, supporting other situation about plum pudding model discovered suggested that atom look like a plum pudding or a blueberry muffin or chocolate chip cookie with electrons evenly distributed throughout the positive spheres. So negative lang siyang electrons na yung color blue, naka-distribute siya, scatter siya sa surroundings, and the color green is the positively charged. So siya yung um, last statement na sinabi ni Joseph John Thomson. Okay? So si Joseph John Thomson, what else is provide the first hint that an atom is made of even smaller particles, and the highlight is discovered the electron, the first subatomic particles from his experiment using cathode ray tube. So hindi basta-basta ano ginamit ni Joseph John Thomson para ma-discover yung electron. It's a cathode ray tube, no? Cathode ray tube. And of course, I will show you, sabi niya, plum pudding models were made from positively charged substance with negatively charged electrons scattered about like raisins in a pudding. Excuse me. So, Joseph John Thomson obtained the ratio of electric charge to mass of an electron to be equal to. So, aside sa nakadiscover siya ng electron, of course, nakadiscover siya ng value, magnitude ng charge to mass ratio of an electron which is equivalent to negative 1.76 times 10 raised to the power of, what is the power? 8. That's the very small number, right? Negative pa yun. So, how many 0? 0.0000, and the value is negative. So, very small. No, yung mass ng electron. Napaka konti lang o maliit ang mass ng electron. A value which is the same regardless of what gas is in the tube. This implies that the electrons is the basic particles of common to all atoms. Wow, correct. Pero naging bias ka ha? Kasi nga, electrons will not really survive without a proton. And of course, electron is the basis and the foundation of modern and another new discovery. Yes, let's proceed to Robert Millikan. So Robert Millikan, born in March 22, 1868 in Morrison, Illinois, USA, and he died in December 19, 1953 in San Marino, California at the age of 85. Wow, congratulations. Having those age of 85 is very unique and a blessings. No, because our lifespan nowadays is just very really short because of lifestyle of a person, no? And he award and honors of Robert Andrew Millikan Prize is actually is he's also known as R.A. Millikan. Other books would write his name R.A. Millikan, capital R A Millikan, not really the long word Robert Andrew, no. That's his real name. And the subject of study is Planck constant electron charge to photoelectric effect. So what is really the contribution of Robert Andrew Millikan in his study? Actually found the charge of an electron to be negative 1.60 times 10 raised to the power of, what do you call what one? So may power negative 19 coulomb from his oil drop experiment. So ito yung na-discover ni Andrew Robert Millikan, ang charge lang sa electron, no? If si G.G. Thomson charge to mass ratio, then ka-discover siya sa electron, si Robert Millikan is ang charge lang sa electron. Paano niya na-discover ang charge of an electron? Because he used this oil drop experiment. We will no longer tackle about that, but that's the features of the oil drop experiment. So combining the value obtained by Thomson and Millikan, the mass of an electron actually, since Thomson already discovered the charge to mass ratio of electron, which is negative, how much is that number? And Robert Millikan discovered the charge only had charge lang sa electron, which is negative 1.60 to the negative 9. Be careful with that. So we could calculate the mass of electron, no? Wow. Galingan natin. We have to calculate the mass of electron. So from the data of, this is the formula that you are going to use. Working equation, charge over charge to mass ratio. So say for example, ang charge sa electron that we in the previous slide is 1.60 negative times 10 to the power of negative 19 coulomb over charge to mass ratio of an electron, which is negative 1.76 times 10 to the power of 8 coulomb per gram. So you can have a money with that if you are going to operate that one. And the answer is 9.09 times 10 raised to the power of negative 28. That's the mass of an electron. Very minute. No? So 0.0000027 ka 0909 mo na imagine nun, ang mass sa electron. The mass of electrons is the same lang all throughout individual electron sa other pod. So number 6, it's almost done. Rutherford in 1871 for this year, so British physicist who is considered to be the father of nuclear physics in New Zealand. Nuclear physicist na because what's really his contribution to the atomic model? Why is it that Ernest Rutherford is very popular, became famous because of this study? He made many new discoveries in both reactivity and nuclear physics. Rutherford postulated nuclear structure of the atom. This is the highlight. Postulated, no? So meaning he was able to create the nuclear structure of the atom using a model, of course, and discovered alpha and beta rays. See, Ernest Rutherford. So, which is really in the study, other study, which they really use the alpha and beta rays. Galing pala yan kang Ernest Rutherford. Proposed the law of radioactive decay and he became the first person to disintegrate an element, specifically in 1909. Hypothesized the existence of the neutrons in 1920 and received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1908. Wow! Ay, konti na lang. So Ernest Rutherford carried out a series of experiments in which thin foil of gold were used as a target of alpha particle. So ito yung ginagamit na experiment ni Ernest Rutherford. Ito yung concept. Helium nucleus having a charge of positive 2 and a mass of 4 times of that of hydrogen. Some of the positively charged bullets, however, did bounce or sway from the gold sheets as if they had hit something solid. He knew that positive charge repel positive charge. And this is, he draw the conclusion. Sabi ni Rutherford, this could only mean that the gold atoms in the sheets were mostly open space. Atoms were not uploading filled with a positively charged material. Okay? That's it. Ang sabi niya, how many conclusions that Ernest Rutherford did? First, he could only mean that gold atoms in the sheets were almost open space. Second, atoms were not a pudding filled with positively charged material. This time, since we have a new experiment of Ernest Rutherford, he was disagree with the statement of G.G. Thomson like a plum pudding model. Di ba sabi ni plum pudding model na ang flour, yun yung mga positively charged na scattered with negatively charged na nakalagay siya doon, naka-toppings siya. Sabi naman ni Ernest Rutherford using tin foil of gold experiment, sabi niya, hindi naka-scattered yung mga positively charged, no? Nag-disagree siya. So, ano yung pinakita niyang experiment? So, this is the experiment. Another conclusion, an atom had a small, dense, positively charged center that repelled his positively charged bullet. So, ang atom daw, ang positively charged is nasa center, nasa gitna, at hindi siya nakalagay in every part of an atom. He called the center of an atom as the nucleus. So, meaning to say, si Ernest Rutherford, nakadiscover sa nucleus. So, siya ang nagsabi na, ang positively charged, hindi nakalagay kung saan-saan. Kumbaga, nandun sila sa pinaka-center lang. So, yun, doon nakatira si positively charged. At saka tinawag niya yung ano yung nasa gitna is the nucleus. Yun yung tinawag ni ano nucleus. And of course, atom had a small, dense, positively charged center that repelled is positively charged bullet. Yun yung sabi niya. Kasi nga, di ba, negatively charged alpha particle, positively charged ang alpha particles, nakahit siya ng positively charged center, nag-repel siya. He called the center of the atom the nucleus. Is trying to compare the atom as a whole. Number 5. Rutherford reasoned that all of an atomic's positively charged particles were contained in nucleus. However, negatively charged particles were scattered outside the nucleus around the atom's edge. Wow. So, yun yung sabi niya. No? Hindi nakalagay, nakascattered si protons sa kung saan-saan lang, but rather in the center. So, what is the Ernest Rutherford contribution actually? This is the experiment of Ernest Rutherford. Have you seen that yellow color just like a pad, square? So that's a gold foil. And then the color yellow that strike from a helium beam kanang rays na color is an alpha particle. And the charge of the alpha particle is positive. So once hit at the center, nag-deflect siya, nag-repel siya, bounce back siya in an angle maybe not really similar. So magkaiba ng angle siya, nag-direction. Ang yung iba naman is nag-penetrate siya, meaning to say, sumabay siya na nakapunta sila doon sa ano. So the color blue is the aluminum detector and alpha particle gold, and just like that. Yes, ito yung other pictures niya, gold foil, and of course ito yun. Ito yung mga nasa gitna, no, may mga sphericals, nag-deflect, nag-iba yung direction. So meaning to say, yung mga rays nga nag-straight na hindi nag-repel is nakahit sila ng mga negatively charged sa gilid. Kaya, di ba, positive ang light, negative. So na-hit siya. So they move directly straight forward without any bending. Yung naka-bend naman ng mga arrow, bumalik na arrow o nakalihi na arrow, so sabi, ang ibig sabihin niyan is them. So meaning to say, kung naka-penetrate siya, naka-hit yung alpha particles ng mga negative, kaya nga naka-hit siya eh. Pero pag naka-hit si alpha particles ng kaparihan yung positive, nagdi-deflect yan or nagre-repel. So that's his yung statement. Okay, next is James Chadwick. Who is James Chadwick? This person, known as the father of nuclear physics, was born in October 20, 1891 in Manchester, England. So died July 24, 1974 at Cambridge, Cambridgeshire. Okay, English physicists who received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1935 and the discovery of neutron. So si James Chadwick lang naman ang nakadiscover ng third atomic particles, the neutron. So meron tayong nakadiscover ng electron, no? Si G.G. Thomson, nucleus, si Ernest Rutherford, and then third atomic particles, neutron. So sino yung nakadiscover ng neutron? Si James Chadwick. Tatlo na. May nakadiscover sa electron, si Joseph John Thomson. May nakadiscover sa nucleus, si Ernest Rutherford. And may nakadiscover sa neutron, si James Chadwick. Is there really a hard time or difficult to discover the other part? If there's an electron, meron yang proton. Actually, may ask you na lang who discovered proton? Kasi nga, hindi ko siya nakalagay sa PowerPoint slide ko. But I know that person. Kilala ko siya, pero hindi niya ako kilala. So, when you will come back here in the afternoon, of course, you will find out. Discovered the neutron. Neutron is electrically neutral and having a mass of slightly bigger than that of proton. This is the value of the neutron, 1.675 times 10 to the power of negative 24. So nag-negative siya is bumaba siya, no? He produced a very high energy radiation similar to gamma rays when bombarded with a thin sheets of beryllium with alpha particles. Later, he experiment show that this experiment is what? Ano yung nangyari sa kanya? Where that of neutron. Hoy, di ba nag-microphone ako? Oh yes, nag-microphone ako eh. Kala ko hindi siya nag-on ang microphone. So James Chadwick discovered the neutron. And this is the experiment of James Chadwick, alpha particles, no? Yun yung discovery. Next, ay almost na Niels Bohr. What is the contribution of Niels Bohr in atomic theory? Well, ito lang naman si Niels Bohr. Sabi niya, ay yung pangalan pala niya, Niels Henrik David Bohr. And naka-receive siya ng Nobel Prize in Physics in the year 1922. He's very young. But of course, he died on October 7, 1885. Born, sorry, on October 7, 1885 in Cambridge, Denmark, and died on November 18, 1962 at Copenhagen, Denmark. Copenhagen, Denmark. Affiliation at the time of the award, Copenhagen University. So, yung motivation is for his service in the investigating of the structure of the atoms and the radiation of emanating the atom. So, muna ang Niels Bohr. Structure, maginis siya si Niels Bohr. So, take a look po na. This is the model of Niels Bohr. Meron na nga na-discover ng atom. So, ang loob ng atom, mayroong electrons, na-discover ni Joseph John Thomson. Meron din na nucleus at the, naka-middle siya, na sabi ni Ernest Rutherford. At meron din tayong neutrons, sabi ni James Chadwick. Si proton. Sino naka-discover ng proton? Yun. Assignment niyo yan. Okay, gawin nyo yan. Pero alam ko kung sino siya. Starts with letter G. Ang yung pangalan niya. Si Bohr's model atom. Sabi ni Bohr's model, ang atom is like a planetary solar system, no, na ang sa gitna nandun yung proton, tsaka yung mga electrons daw, sabi ni Niels Bohr, is kung ang protons na positively charged located in the nucleus together with the neutrons, the electrons, however, would reside outside of that nucleus, and they residing just like a planetary solar system, that they are rotate just like in rotating they are within the orbit, no, like with our solar system nga naka-orbit siya, pero it's an imaginary line, no, circle, color pink, that's an orbit, color gray, and then the color pink are the atoms. It's just only an interpretation, but it's not really nice na kuan. Okay, that's the Niels Bohr theory. So ang atom, meron siyang protons and nucleus sa gitna, and outside of that proton or nucleus are the electrons. Yun yung emphasis ni Niels Bohr, no? So nagkaroon ng idea ng mga tao, yun. Pero ito yung pinakamatindi. Sa ngayon ba si Erwin Schrödinger sa about sa idea of Niels Bohr of the previous? Kasi nga, he's very certain and curious about the location of electron. Yes, he agreed, yung protons and neutrons is nasa gitna or nasa nucleus, but his concern is the position of electrons, just like with Niels Bohr said, the electrons are residing in a certain like orbit na patuyok-tuyok lang sila. Yun yung mga electron, no? So Erwin Schrödinger, it's my greatest contribution to Erwin Schrödinger is, yes, pinaka modern and latest in August 12, 1887 in Vienna, Austria, and died in January 4, 1961 in Vienna at the age of 73. Actually, he was awarded an honor Nobel Prize in 1953. Noble works of my view of the world, natures of the Greeks. Subject of study, Schrödinger equation. So sabi nga ni Schrödinger, while Rutherford's model described the path of the electron move, Erwin Schrödinger solved mathematical equations to describe the behavior of ganyan. So, similar to Bohr model, Schrödinger described the energy of electrons with a certain value but does not involve an exact path the electron takes around the nucleus. Okay. So sabi ni Erwin Schrödinger, yes, maybe sabi ni Niels Bohr na si electrons is residing just like a planetary solar system, na naka-orbit sila, nakalagay sila sa orbit, but hindi yun yung sabi ni Erwin Schrödinger. Sabi niya hindi naka-orbit yung mga electrons, but of course yung electrons is just one thing for sure is they are outside of the nucleus, pero hindi siya naka circular like orbit na ito yung discovery ni Erwin Schrödinger. How does he discover the position or probability of finding electron in an atom? He used a very advanced algebra mathematics to compute that one, based on that equation, but we will not tackle that one, of course. And he found out or make a model with just like this one, like a sphere na yung circle na nasa tunga yung nucleus and protons, and outside of that is the electrons yung naka-shape sila. So ito yung atomic model from 1803. John Dalton, sabi niya merong atom, pero sabi niya hindi ko alam kung ano ang nasa loob ng atom. Ang alam ko lang ang atom ng ang element ay may mga atom, no? Pero hindi ko alam nga kung ano yung nasa loob ng atom. Si G.G. Thomson, upon the discovery, sabi niya, "Oy, ano kayang sinabi ni John Dalton, no? Sabi niya may mga some smaller parts sa loob ng atom. Mag-study nga ako." Kaya nga discover niya si electrons, no? And of course, si Ernest Rutherford, sabi niya, electrons are not really like a plum pudding model nga they were scattered everywhere. But electrons are really arranged, no? In a certain called it's like a planetary solar system na nandyan lang sila sa mga electron naka-arrange. But of course, si Niels Bohr, yun yung, actually yun yung sabi ni Niels Bohr, but yung sabi ni Erwin Schrödinger is electrons are not really in a certain orbit, but of course through their density, the probability of looking electron is through their density or dense cloud, no? Yun yung sabi niya. Ito yung model from Dalton, Thomson, Rutherford, Bohr, and quantum model to be done in other side na po. Di-discuss naman tayo ng ganyan. So take note, Democritus in the 5th century BC, all matter is composed of small indivisible particles called atoms. Si Democritus, sabi niya, alam ko lang, ito yung building blocks ng matter, ang atom. Sabi ni Democritus, indivisible si atom kasi nga maliit siya. Yun ang contribution niya eh. Atom is indivisible or uncuttable. Hindi kayang i-cut into half because of its minute quantities. Pero sabi ni si Democritus, don't forget na he was once upon a time a student of Leucippus. Well, this is John Dalton's atom are invisible, indivisible man eh? Invisible, and compounds are combination of different types. So sabi ni John Dalton, nakapostulate kasi lang apat na, di ba? Mga postulate. Atoms rearranged just like that. G.G. Thomson, of course, is a sphere, positive, negative charge embedded within it. Si Joseph John Thomson, nagka-discover siya ng electron, no? Sabi niya like a plum pudding model, no? Sabi niya po si electron naka like a raisin na scattered. Si proton naman is naka-scattered in everywhere, which is really wrong. Ernest Rutherford, Niels Bohr, and Erwin Schrödinger. Okay, so those are the history, a timeline of the foundation of the atomic theory. I hope that you'll learn a lot about it because we're gonna have an assessment or practice or a quiz about my presentation. But second to the last, let me ask you about the modern advances in atomic theory. Of course, today, because of this atomic theory, meron na tayong mga nuclear fusion as serve as our greater energy source. And ang lawak ng concept ng nuclear fusion, atomic spectroscopy to determine the molecular compound of certain things, samples, etc. It's widely used in other technology form through scanning, hospitalization using atomic spectroscopy, and of course quantum control and ultraviolet domain. So kayo yung mga doon, yun yung mga advanced technology na makapagbigay ng mga atomic theory because of that, no? Data modeling, plasma, etc. And second to the last is, what is my conclusion? Conclusion about the atomic theory. Is that really what you meant? So atomic theory developed over centuries by scientists like John Dalton, G.G. Thomson, Ernest Rutherford, Niels Bohr, and provide a comprehensive explanation to the structures and behavior of atoms, no, the fundamental building blocks of matter. And last question, conclusion and implication of the atomic theory. Well, the main implication is technological advancement. Atomic theory has paved the way for technological breakthrough in various fields. It has led to the development of nuclear power, medical imaging technologies. Yes, that's it. Ito yung mga conclusion niya. It has led to the development of nuclear power. Wow, grabe naman to. And medical imaging technologies like PET, MRI, and the advancement of material science, electronic. So, nang dahil sa atomic theory, napakaganda ng buhay natin ngayon. Technology-wise, no, economic-wise, and health-wise because of this atomic theory. So if you have a further questions, you may ask me personally. But of course, as of now, I will not hesitate to say thank you. But I will have a prepared quiz for you when we will see each other. So please watch. If hindi ka pa nakapag-subscribe ng aking YouTube channel, so my YouTube channel is Rafael Padla Inson. And that's it. Thank you and goodbye. Bye-bye.